The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our ServiceNow series, where we interview the best and brightest of the industry to share their story, advice, and views on the exciting world of ServiceNow and digital transformation.
You're listening to the Alldus podcast ServiceNow series. Our guest today is Paul McNamara. Paul is the co-founder and CEO of PAMT Consulting. Paul, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And we're delighted to have you. So Paul, let's start with yourself, please, as we do with all of our guests. Could you give us a little bit of an overview of your background in technology and what your journey has been from where you got started, some of the roles you've held along the way, what's led you to where you are today as a founder and CEO of your own company, PAMT?
I have been into computers and technology since I was a very small boy. I've got a picture of me sitting happily playing on a Commodore 64. That was also the first coding I would have done. Fast forward to college, I did a 2-year computer programming diploma from Fanshawe College in London. And then I got out into the world and found out that diploma was not going to get me a job. So I went to Kelly Services, which in Canada is a staffing company, and they placed me as a secretary in the IT department of Toyota Manufacturing in Cambridge. So I was at least IT adjacent. And of course, when I fixed their SharePoint site in the first week and I started modifying their time tracking tool in the second week, my secretarial duties diminished and my IT duties increased. I spent about 3 years in that role before taking a role with Desire to Learn. They're an educational software company, and I started there on the help desk using Heat. As you can imagine, I was quite happy years later when I had been promoted to the manager of enterprise applications to discover ServiceNow. And we rolled out ServiceNow as a support tool pre-CSM for the support contacts that use Desire to Learn. And we ran that successfully for a couple of years. At the time, I was a generalist. I was a C# developer. I was certified in SharePoint, Microsoft CRM, Heat, Interactive Intelligence, which is a telephony system. I did a little bit of everything. During the rollout of the ServiceNow project, I found that I really enjoyed the tool. I was able to get in and learn how to make it do just about anything I wanted to. And so when the opportunity presented itself, I applied to NASHCO Consulting. NASHCO was one of the first partners in the ecosystem, Canadian partner, of course. And I spent 3 years there working on amazing projects across the country. And they were acquired by Accenture the end of 2016. At the time, I was a sub through NASHCO to Deloitte. And I knew that the project that I was working on would be canceled because Deloitte's not using Accenture as subcontractors. So I approached Deloitte. They had a ServiceNow role posted on their website, and I applied to ensure I didn't break any company-to-company conflict. And I ended up incorporating PAMT, and I got my first contract with Deloitte Canada. And at the time, I named the company PAMT, which is Paul, Angie, Mary, and Timothy, the initials of my wife and kids, because I thought it was just going to be a corporation to subcontract myself. 2 weeks in, they asked me if I knew a service portal developer. I did. We put her through my paper to Deloitte. It was supposed to be a 12-week contract. It lasted 2 years. Our reputation grew as the company that could find and provide good resources. And for a significant amount of time, we were pretty much a staff aug company. We weren't even a partner of ServiceNow's. So there was very limited project work we could do, not through a subcontractor. Fast forward to about 3 years ago, we got into the partner program. We changed direction. We're a full premier partner now, and we do implementations, support contracts, integrations, you name it. We do it all now.
Wow, I love that story. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. And what a great evolution of your own career, almost an accidental CEO, but really it comes down to you found a space for yourself and you've been successful in it. So let's fast forward to where you are today. Describe the current landscape of PAMT and talk a little bit about your mission now, what your focus is, who you are, what you do, and the types of projects that you're supporting within the ServiceNow partner community.
PAMT has been on a significant growth trajectory for the last few years. with a little bit of a pause last year. I think we're on track for about 50% growth this year. We have over 40 consultants now from Halifax to Victoria. So we crossed the country nicely. Our leadership team has identified 3 pillars that we base most of our decisions on. One of them is maintaining our premier status in the ServiceNow partner ecosystem. You'd be surprised at how often the requirements change, and ensuring we're meeting them is important to us. Incidentally, if you were to look how they score the partner program, we're elite in every category except license sales, which we don't do. So we'll stay in our premier status. The second is growth without sacrificing quality. We want to grow and we want to continue to grow and be successful, but we believe we have a good reputation for quality delivery in the ecosystem, and I never want to see that change. And then the third is we want to be a destination employer. We want to be a place that people want to work because it's a good team, it's a good environment. All companies say, oh, we try to be a family company, and in the end, it is a business. But my wife runs this company with me, and she makes it a family feeling company. She sends birthday gifts to the team, and she does personal one-on-ones that do not talk about ServiceNow. They talk about your life and your kids and your family. And I truly believe that there are a lot of people out there that would rather work in a company like that of a smaller size, but a more family vibe than, say, go work for a 700,000 person company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Normally, the normal order of the conversation would be we talk about the clients and the projects, but given what you said just there, let's just flip the order slightly. So talk to us a little bit more about the team that you've built and the growth from when it was just you and that one hire that you made to where you are today. What has the journey been like? And speaking to an audience of ServiceNow professionals, give us a look behind the scenes, what a typical project life cycle is like. If we were to join tomorrow, what would we be entering?
That's a great question. It really would depend on the role that you took, but our team is very diverse, very tech savvy. I was a developer, or I guess I still am a developer, so I've been pretty good at finding quality talent that does good development skills.
Is there a recent one that you could share that you're particularly excited about, the result, the journey that you're passionate about? Maybe just showcase some of the work that you and the team are doing.
We won an RFP in Alberta for one of the banks, and the whole premise of the RFP was we've been on ServiceNow for 10 years. We've gone through 3 vendors. We're neck deep in technical debt. We'll give you 6 months to attempt to resolve it with 3 6-month renewals to continue working to try to get our platform into a better state. So basically improve the instant scan and health scan scores to a reasonable level, reduce upgrade times, reduce technical debt, reduce complexity. As a business owner, I'm sitting there thinking, great, this is 6 months with 3 6-month renewals. So we got 2 years of a great client. As a technical person, we finished in 5 months. We got them to the score and their target very quickly. No worries. We didn't get the 3 renewals, but we are now good partners with this client, and we do a lot of work with them. But that's something I'm passionate about. I've gone into so many existing ServiceNow clients and found the most ridiculous configuration work, the most just lack of experienced developers, because ServiceNow grew so fast. Of course, it waters down the talent pool, and client resources tend to be isolated, like the one-man shop that's running the platform. They don't have time to do it right necessarily. They just get it done so that it looks right. And that causes chaos later on. I love going in and finding that, identifying where it's been done, where the problems are, helping the client develop a roadmap to get back to healthy. That's one of my favorite projects. But then on the complete other side of that, we managed to win another RFP last year to do a full greenfield implementation, converting a client from Jira to ServiceNow, which made it that much funnier when that client was with us in Las Vegas and got to see all the Atlassian billboards everywhere. Trying to
yes, I was there. We saw that, definitely.
It was comical. And he says to me, what would a project even look like going from ServiceNow to Jira? And I said, at the highest level, today in ServiceNow, you can do 15 things like this. Tomorrow, when we convert you to Jira, you'll be able to do 5 of those relatively well.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
So, Paul, you mentioned there, look, part of the opportunity that exists within ServiceNow is helping companies get organized and catch up because of the growth side of it was so fast and so rapid that the scaling of the platform meant things weren't always done in the right manner. So there's always going to be opportunity to fix that. But the growth isn't slowing down within the ServiceNow space. And obviously, as a premier partner yourselves, you're seeing the work and the pipelines get bigger and bigger. When you look at the near-term roadmap, what are some of the things that PAMT Consulting are focusing on? Do you have particular areas of the platform you want to specialize in? Do you have particular industry verticals that you're looking at? Or just from a growth and scale of business, what are some of the things that you and the leadership team are focusing on?
In 7 years of being in business, I have been asked to pick a niche and a vertical more times than you can imagine. It's so challenging to say, I'm just going to stick to this one lane and turn down opportunities that aren't in that lane. And with ServiceNow being so wide, it's absolutely hard to be an expert in everything. We're obviously ITSM skilled. Like every other partner, that's where you have the most. But I've done everything I can to encourage my team to learn in all areas of the tool. Last I checked, when we were at 35 employees, we had 160 mainline certifications across those 35 certified people. That's incredible. That's an average of more than 5 a person. And it's in all areas of the tool. So if I need an HRSD expert, I've got one. My problem, honestly, is that I'll get 3 projects and only have 2 SecOps people, for example. And one of the ways we mitigate that is by working with other boutique vendors. One of the things that we've done recently that we hope will be a big driver of growth is we've joined the Iconica Alliance. Iconica is an alliance of boutique ServiceNow vendors, primarily in Europe, although they are expanding to North America. Now, what this does for me is it gives me access to 300 additional certified ServiceNow resources, but also boutique vendors that are in specific niches or verticals. For example, we're delivering a couple of security operations projects, and we partnered with C1 Secure and another Iconica member. If clients come to us and they ask us for something that's not in our wheelhouse, or I don't feel confident that we can deliver with that quality that I plan to keep, we'll reach out to the industry experts in different boutique vendors, and we'll partner with them, and we'll ensure the top quality delivery in their expertise.
Amazing. That gives you opportunity to scale rapidly with your existing customers and offer them so much more. Amazing. Paul, I always like to finish these conversations bringing it back to the people, because a large percentage of our audience will be ServiceNow professionals who are trying to learn about companies, get a look behind the scenes. And you talked quite passionately about the environment of PAMT and how it is quite different to other organizations, more of a focus on the individual. So coupled with your ability to find talent, I want to finish on this because I think it's quite relevant. What is it that you do? How do you go about finding the type of talent that gives PAMT a competitive edge? And speaking to an audience of potential future employees, when you identify somebody that you'd like to bring into the PAMT organization, what is it that you tell them that gets them excited enough to join you guys over some of the other great companies also trying to hire?
Traditionally, we were using recruiters. Recruiters have been very helpful in finding us good candidates. We still put them through a pretty rigorous interview process, including a technical interview, deep dive into the technical capabilities. But we tend to move quickly as well when we find somebody that meets the fit interview, which is the first interview where we have a casual conversation and learn a bit more about each other and the fit and feel. And then the technical interview to validate what's on the resume is in reality the case. That can be sometimes quite revealing. But what we tell them, what we think about PAMT is that are a family-run organization, for good or bad, and we do legitimately care about our employees, their health, their mental health, their physical health. We are generous in our statutory holidays. For example, we give, I think it's 3 more than are legally required to make it consistent across Canada. We've got benefits that are competitive with large organizations, which is pretty rare in the boutique space. And then we've got our Angie. I assure you that everyone that works for me loves her and is more loyal to her than they are to me. She is a genuine person who legitimately cares about everyone that works for us. And she goes out of her way to make sure that people know that. Whether it's a birthday gift, a welcome to you bought a home, here's a nice plant, or even ensuring we send flowers if you've lost a loved one. I think it's those things that make people feel really connected and seen. And that's so important in a remote team. Being that we're fully remote and that we don't have an office for people to come to, those kinds of things. Even something as simple as she sends out snack boxes because you don't have an office to go to get your coffee and cookies, so we'll send it to your home office. Little things like that, it makes it great.
It's refreshing to hear a work environment being described like that, because in the corporate world, a lot of those topics are out, career progression, promotions, and this is just the other side of it. And it's good to know that companies like PAMT are still out there with that type of focus. So, Paul, thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us. It was an absolute pleasure to learn about your own journey, the evolution and the origin story behind PAMT, and the great work that you're doing as a ServiceNow partner. And obviously, with the growth of the platform, there's going to be amazing opportunity for people to come and join you and can continue on this journey. We really appreciate your time. We wish you, the team, and everyone at PAMT the very best of luck in the months and years to come, and look forward to having you back on the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.